Alright, I think this might be the last video for the getting a custom character up into the art kit and working with the art kit, I should say. So, from here I'm going to go ahead and clear this out because before, when you guys saw, I was not able to open up that art kit manipulator tool to be able to select different bones instead of having to go through and manually pick everything out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start a new scene. I don't need to save this because it's asking me, do you want to save this Maya scene here? I'm like, I don't really need to save the Maya scene. We already made our rig, we published our character, so we have the character saved out on our local drive in the art file within the Unreal Engine files themselves. So to open up our character that we made, because we added our character to a library or to a database or wherever you want to save it to, I'm going to go ahead and add a character for animating. Since our character is good to go, and we already know that we have all our skin weights done, all the controls that we want are made, I'm going to come back, we're going to navigate to wherever our project file is, and because we know it's not Trent, we know it's this crazy looking face that some odd reason Maya wanted to do. We'll go ahead and add that one, and we're going to close that window down. We'll give it just a second to load up that character. Come on. Yes, I do agree. It's a very crazy face. I wish it was not doing the transparency sorting on it, but I'm going to go ahead and pause this video until it loads. Oh, never mind. And here is our character with the animation interface completely open and with all the controls available for you to use to manipulate this character. Now, the first thing I want to go through and I make some of my animations is, I know some of these joints are just a little big that they're just going to get in the way. First thing I'm seeing that I want to get rid of or get out of the way are these the eyeball joints I had made earlier, and same with those jaw joints. So if I'm going to go ahead and select one of these joints. You can select it through the rig settings, coming down to your custom joint chains. No, I'm saying correctly. It will not appear on your joint chains because your joint chains are all of the skirt joints that I had made, or for your cape, or for whatever your character is wearing. It won't go through your picker either, so I think for these ones right now, I'd have to select them through either the viewport, or I'd have to go down through the list view, and find my leaf controls and find all the leaf joints that I had made. So I'm going to go ahead and select each joint individually, go to this scale the joint tool. From here I want to go ahead and scale that down just where I can barely see it, but it's definitely out of the way. Same thing with the right eye. I want to make it bigger, I want to make it smaller. Same thing with the jaw, the end of that jaw joint, make that smaller. And same with the jaw animation, because that I can almost mistake for being the neck control, which is actually this blue ring. Bring that way down inside that head. Alright, so we scaled down those bones that were getting in the way earlier. You can do that too with any of your controls that are available on your character. Your character has the animation controls are a very powerful tool. I mean, it gives you a lot of flexibility in which to use your character to manipulate, such as you can't select your knee rotations, I think, not until you switch out your controls for your legs being, the left leg, right leg to FK mode. Then you can rotate your knee by selecting it. You can rotate it this way, but I'm not going to stick with that. I've done a lot of IK mode stuff. So if you can't select your knee through here, you can also go through your picker list. It keyed that for me because switching back and forth IK to AK will do that. And you can just select your value here. Just middle mouse. You can put in a value 25. Will rotate the knees, same way you were doing when you switched it over to the other mode. So put that back down to 0. Yeah, we have plenty of waist control, so we can rotate that. She'll or pelvis does rotate. It's just the global control for the entire upper point of the body. The arms will stay put since we have our arms still set up in IK mode. You can easily switch it back to FK mode. You also can have control over your entire right arm from the clavicle down to, you want it to rotate body to the world, and you can set it down to FK mode or IK mode on both the arms, the head, all the way down through the rest of this body. Clavicle controls your elbows here. Rotate your elbows where you need to go. If your character's arms are in like this and you want your elbows to be down, just drag it down easily. So undo that. Have good controls within the foot as well. Now, one of the things I want to point out is when you are animating a character in a game and for the Unreal Engine, I've done some animations where I've had to have Trent do some combat role kind of stuff, and I figured if I move this bone here, it would move the character where it needed to go. That's not necessarily true. The game engine is going to follow wherever the root component goes, and this outer ring here is going to control the global position of where your character is going. Such as if he's rolling, he's going to need to move this far forward by the end of that animation. So when I push down whatever key the player pushes down to have him roll, it'll take the global control and all the components attached with that character, such as the capsule component, the camera, and any other sockets and stuff like that you have on your character's components in the engine, and it'll move everything with it. One of the things I thought that was pretty cool that I noticed was I've never messed with, I'll be honest, I've never messed with the jiggle bones. And since we were moving her back and forth, I noticed that the jiggle bone is being dynamic. So I mean, that can give her some cool little that'll give her some cool little hoodie controls to bounce back and forth. The other thing that's really awesome is besides these joint chains having their own individual controls and handles, you can actually come in here to your joint picker, go down to your rig settings, and under custom joint chains, I found that you can actually hit dynamics. So let's go ahead and we'll set all our joint chain to dynamic. It might send the rest up, but I'm pretty sure that if you're moving this back and forth, it's going to react just like it would with a piece of hair. So I'm going to set the rest of these up to dynamic. Two, three, and got one more I don't know if I'll be able to get to. I think that's going to be one that's I'm not going to be able to get to. But just moving around like for a cape or whatever, it's going to have some physics to it. There's an invisible body within there, but that's one of the very cool things you have with joint chains within those controls. So that'll be for what I have for the character, getting it up and running, and in the next video, and one of the other videos I'll be publishing later too, I'm going to go ahead and show how to, if you built this, say you built the character for one of your other animators, you want to send this to them, and they're on a different workstation, just getting all the files that are associated with that character and sending them off to the animator so they can actually open it up from their workstation and do what they need to do with it. So, if you guys have any questions or anything, just feel free to send a message or leave any message you guys need for any questions you might have, and I'll try to do what I can to answer and help out. So, hopefully this helped you guys, and hopefully it will help you guys get your characters up and running with its own rig control with the ArtKit. So, thanks a lot.